All right, so we're here to discuss Module 12 and the chapter that goes along with it. So I'm Street. I'm going to get started just by talking a little bit about the PowerPoint that was on there. So it does talk about task rotation, making students as important as the standards. It introduces the dichotomy between standards and diversity and how they are seemingly different ideas that are supposed to actually work together. The big thing about the PowerPoint is the 4 different styles. You have mastery, interpersonal, understanding, and self-expressive. Prince, did you want to explain any of these?
Yeah, some of the materials that we provided with looked at these 4 different types as symbols. When we look at a mastery learner, they prefer to learn using their traditional 5 senses and thinking. So we would use a symbol of a hand for this because these are students that prefer hands-on activities. They also like directions, specific step-by-step directions, or to be shown exactly what they're expected to do. They have a right or wrong answer, not really open to that, I guess, subjective form of grading. They want to know what's expected and get it done. Rather than be creative. So this would probably be our less creative.
So it's very fact by fact.
Very much so.
Okay.
So the second style is interpersonal. These students prefer to learn with their 5 senses.
And their feelings. So we use a heart as the symbol for this. These are the students that like to do everything with their friends. They're very social. They like to learn about people and how they feel. And they ask questions about feelings. But this group also likes to be shown what to do, but they're not a sit at their desk completely still and quiet while they're doing their work. They're the student that likes to chit-chat with their friends, but still capable of getting their work done.
The third style is understanding.
This is students that learn through the 6th sense, that intuition. So we're getting a break from the traditional 5 senses here. Intuition and thinking, and we use a symbol of like someone's head to represent this style because they like to think about problems. These are your problem solvers, and they like to explain things. So I would imagine these are your math and science strong kids, your STEM kids, and they enjoyed the questions that asked them to explain how and why things work. So we see a big shift here from specific yes or no answer or maybe a multiple choice type answer to these students like either verbally telling you or writing out specifically how things work.
The last one is self-expressive.
And this is intuition but with feeling, and we use the I. These are our creative kids. They use their imagination and they see things that you can't experience with your 5 senses that the first 2 groups really rely on. They create their own ideas. They like to choose their own projects. So the menu board things that we've talked about in previous courses are really good for students like this. And they like to make things that are new and different to express their mastery of the content.
Yeah, I'll go back to those in just a minute, but Cowan, you specifically covered the book. What did the chapter for this module talk about?
In this chapter 11, they're following a case study of a young lady named Rosa and her struggles in class. She was showing difficulties in class by staying focused the entire time. She was getting in trouble. It showed through a retrofit. The teachers decided to do a retrofit approach, but they were seeing in this approach she was having difficulty in impulse control. She was also she was 2 years behind in her English skills and reading. When they looked at her math skills, she was constantly underdeveloped in math skills due to her frequent moving from school to school. So 2 of her teachers decided that they were going to take a professional learning to redesign their whole curriculum just for her so that she could have an approach. They decided to attend a professional development activity that related to the universal design of learning. And in this, they were able to relate the Common Core concepts and the UDL lessons to give her a strict focus that just focused on her needs. And what they realized was that the English-Spanish barrier played a bigger role? Yeah, it played a bigger role in her not being able to be accomplish. They noticed that when they were testing her, she wrote the entire I Have a Dream speech in Spanish and was fully involved in that and loved it. But then her other classes, they were unable to get her to put that much effort into it, which actually relates to the other part that I was looking at with Hattie's 2018 list of factors. And one of them is student achievement is when they're able to fully invest and motivate themselves through self-efficacy, and their teachers are giving them stuff to relate to. That's very high on the list. And they noticed that once they got her a Spanish book for math, she slowly started to gain. And then her English assignments, when she had a translator, she was able to close the gap. And it's all due to differentiating her lessons just to be on her level, which was a nationwide requirement that these teachers followed for her. And that's pretty much what Chapter 11 follows.
So just trying to wrap things up. Another way to remember these 4 different types of styles is the 4 R's. So mastery would be remembering, understanding is reasoning, self-expressive is recreating, and interpersonal is relating. So that'll cover Module 12. Hope you guys have a great week.